Hello, everybody. This is Silu. This is about the Elm Street Brigade. This is just an effort to Saturday morning here. This is just about an effort to make face shields and masks. And if you join the Elm Street Brigade page, then you can find out everything that I have to teach you about it. This was Melanie Arrington. She's a teacher here locally that was part of the group at Elm Street Elementary that made the first 3D printed shields here. Basically, the page has some information about how people with 3D printers can make these things, and just come check it out. Here we go. Here's my friend Jason. He is working on masks as well over in Jasper. He could use some elastic. I just sent him about 2 packs of the kind of elastic that he needs. You can find that on the page too. But he's making these masks. I have a couple of them coming for nurses here locally. Uh, yeah, basically atwoodrope.com has the product that he uses. 1/4 inch elastic. All right, here's a MakerBot. These were over at Elm Street Elementary. And when I first started the search to find people that had 3D printers, I didn't know who had them. And I reached out to some people locally. I talked to our state senator, Chuck Hufstetler, and we tried Darlington, we tried Georgia Highlands. It looked like the closest one was about 53 miles away over in Douglasville. But thanks to the power of social media, we were able to contact Laura Wally and Melanie Arrington. And we basically, their little group put together like 4 different of these MakerBots so that they could create frames for shields. There you go. We're also making these guys too. If you have a 3D printer and you can make this, well, this, then these are straps. And let's say that crochet is more your thing. Well, if crochet is more your thing and you don't have a 3D printer, which most of us don't, then here's a couple of different ways to go. Here we go. This has the crochet. Here's the thing about the face shields. I'm not seeing it. All I see is my big line about this. Okay. Here we go. Here's the okay, here's the post about the surgical mask strap. These are all like Thingiverse and other open file sources that we use to make these. Here we have a tutorial from YouTube on mask making. This one's about sewing. So if sewing is your thing, here you go. We do have another one on crochet. Doesn't that look fun? Here's the design from Georgia Tech. Again, all these files are available. This one is about making an emergency ventilator. They call it the bag valve. And finally, here's the one that I've done the most to promote because we do have lots of people that can crochet. This is to create little ear guards. For those of you that have homemade masks, this is a really good way to help yourself have one that fits all day long. You can find some more information on my blog. Basically, right here, we've got healthcare providers are getting open wounds behind their ears from the constant mask usage. This is a pattern from a crochet group. It's cotton worsted weight yarn, so it can be washed and bleached. 5mm hook, chain 20 HDC into the third chain and then into each chain to the second last. Anyway, the directions are right there if you know how to crochet. These straps are about 6 by 1.5 inches long, and they do stretch. So with some buttons and this little bit of crochet work, you can make these, and it will be very helpful for anybody you know that has them, that has a homemade mask. And finally, here's some information from Dr. Kraut over at Berry College. He was saying that Berry College and Hackberry Lab was approached by Floyd Medical Center about using the 3D printers. So apparently the word got out about what they were doing up in Tennessee. Austin Peay State University and the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency were working together. A friend from Tennessee sent that idea to me. I started sending it around. Who knows where Floyd Medical Center really got the idea to contact them, but that's what they started working on. Dr. Kraut worked on a prototype that used inexpensive, easy to find materials and common hand tools. By the time he had the samples ready, they had an in-state supplier. So the good news is that at the moment, it looks like that we have lots of everything that we need, and maybe maybe the influx at the hospital is not going to be as serious as we might have feared at first, but it's good to keep an eye on this situation. There's a piece of art by Milo Manara. It's actually very cool. You can check that out on the page too. Anyway, that's about it. Come like the Elm Street Brigade. We've got information about COVID 3D printing mask frames with maximum filtration. And here again are some of those pictures from what we worked on. And if you want to read the story, you can find cecilblogspot.com, and that has the story about the Elm Street Brigade. And there's also this video here. This was produced by the Rome City Schools, and here's Melanie, and she is about to walk us through her her process with the MakerBots. Is like this.
Will be used in the local hospital.
Wow, that's really
So we're running 4 3D printers, so we are able to get about 30 face shields a day.
There we go, 30 face shields a day. Pretty cool, huh?
We're 3D printing the top part here, and that fits on just like a sun visor. It just slides on. And then we're cutting the plastic here to fit onto them. They just punch holes and then go right onto the front of it.
There you go.
We have 3D printers in all of our classrooms. They have a smaller build plate, so we're able to print these mask extenders that go in the back to help relieve the band from rubbing the ears. So those that are having to wear the mask 24 hours, 12 hours a day, those rub your ears off. So this helps pull those off the ears to make those masks more comfortable.
There we go. So there you can see there's been a number of efforts. Some of them, by our local people here, some by friends that are outside this community. And it's just been good to see people pull together on a volunteer basis and try to make sure that the doctors and nurses had everything that they needed. Again, go on Facebook, like the Elm Street Brigade, and you can find this and more information. Oh, before I forget them, Heritage Sleep Concepts. Actually, we're busy making masks too, and that made the news, which was pretty darn cool. And thanks to those guys too, they've been busy with that effort since late March. So again, we'll just have to keep an eye on how things are going here at the local hospital. Keep your ear to the ground. If you know anyone that's a doctor or nurse over there, just talk to them about their supply situation. Everything seems like it's okay right at the moment, which I guess that's not much of a call to arms, but hopefully everything is fine. And thanks to everybody that has volunteered and done their part. All right, guys. Well, take care. Have a great Saturday, and I hope wherever you are that you're not feeling tired and helpless through all of this, that you're keeping your sense of humor about you. And if you weren't feeling so great about things, then I hope that this makes you feel somewhat better. I hope that you can find a way to jump in on the effort. I hope it makes you feel good just to know that there are people trying to work on these things, and maybe you can find your place. Basically, my friend out in Oregon, Jeffrey Bolt, he's a registered nurse, and he's calling for public support to directly contact representatives and hospital administration which is still a good idea. And anyway, just be safe out there. Keep up social distancing. Don't know how long we'll be at it, but a little while longer for sure. And that's all for today. Take it easy. We'll see you later.